Good morning, everybody. It's Lori with Main Street Gardener, and today I just thought I'd do a little vlog style video to share some of the beauty that's happening in the garden right now, and also to answer a few of your questions. Um, it's a gorgeous morning. It's quiet. I'm up in my shade garden. I've shared it's one of my favorite spots, especially this time of year. The light is just gorgeous. It filters through the trees and it just really makes everything just so beautiful and peaceful. Also, the birds are just, all over the place, enjoying the morning in the garden. You can hear some of them now. So I do have my camera because I think probably if you've been watching my channel, you know that I am also a photographer. And I really fell in love with nature photography and capturing flowers about 8 years ago. And so my camera is always with me, not only for video, but for shooting. And this is the time of day I love to come out. Now I like golden hour right before and after the sun sets, but I also really cherish the morning. It's so peaceful and quiet, and you can just see really sweet little things in the garden that are coming to life. I love to capture them in a really close-up, gorgeous way. So let me answer a couple questions that have come through since I started my channel in January. So I have been gardening really since I was a little girl. My grandparents gardened and farmed. My parents gardened. They had big farms. My mom loved to have flower beds full of whatever she could afford, perennials, cuttings from my grandmother's garden, little starts she would pick up. So she always had beautiful gardens landscaped in front of our home and then over the years throughout her entire property. And so I was just surrounded by that. And as me and my sisters left the nest, she really dove into gardening even more. And so as my husband and I started purchasing our first home and subsequent homes, of course, I wanted to make it look beautiful. So I started gardening and really learning from my mom about perennials and adding shrubs. And now that there's the world of YouTube, I really started learning from some of the greats on YouTube and just thinking about different plants and different climates and different things that I can try in my garden. So when we moved to this home 4 years ago, there was absolutely nothing here. Not a single plant, not a single tree. And so it was an amazing opportunity to create something from total scratch. And yes, there are things that I would do differently. Don't we always have hindsight? But overall, I am very thrilled and pleased with the garden, and it's absolutely what I wanted. So we've been out here in Maryland. We moved from the city outside DC to be closer to family, more affordability, and just to have some peace, kind of peacefulness. I do love the thrill of being in the city and the conveniences, but it's so peaceful out here, and it's brought us a lot of joy and really enjoying it. So that's a little bit about the history of my garden. It's evolving, at year 4, there's things that haven't worked. There's things that are all of a sudden deciding to struggle, just like probably in a garden that's 10 or 15 years old. So I think a garden, it's always evolving, always changing. And I'm always saying this area isn't quite living up to its expectation. And so I'll start modifying it. I do love to incorporate annuals each year. Not as many as I have. Sometimes I do grow from seed, which I absolutely love. So I've gotten asked before what my favorite flower is, and that is a really, really tricky question. So I think it used to be peonies. Even though they're so short to bloom, I just absolutely love them. Then as time progressed, actually in the last couple years, My daughter lives in Charleston, South Carolina, and I would visit in the spring, and the camellias just take your breath away. They are so incredibly beautiful. And so I think that's definitely on my list. And then about 6 years ago, I decided to start growing dahlias. And I think they'd become really popular, but I wanted to challenge myself. I don't think they're the easiest plant to grow. And for me and my climate, I really have to start thinking about dahlias in about February, and then they don't stop until like November. So it's really a full year plant. Even though you only have blooms for a couple months, the growing cycle and having them kind of in your life is very lengthy. I also just love the challenge, and it can be so frustrating to grow dahlias, but it's so rewarding as well. I would also say dahlias because this year I grew some from seed that were from my plants. I captured the seeds and they've germinated, and I have hundreds of plants now to get out into the garden and share with friends. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see what pollinated in my garden, what the flowers are going to look like. It's going to be such a beautiful experience and beautiful mystery. I've been wanting to capture these runner-up little blue blooms in the sunlight. So I'm going to do that for just a minute. So I've gotten asked several times what were the biggest learnings I had in building this garden. And I would say number one is just infrastructure. So I wish I had added a water line all the way up here in this space, but unfortunately we just didn't have the budget and we didn't think about it at the time. So I think always making sure you have water in all your future garden spaces is really important. My second learning would just be to be patient. So I planted 2 large crabapple trees and I knew they were going to get big. I didn't expect them to grow as fast. And I planted 2 large roses underneath. And while they were beautiful, they were starting to struggle. So I moved them. They're a little bit struggling now, but I'm really hoping with some TLC, they're going to recover. I wanted to come and be sure that I captured these sweet gems that I just planted. You'll probably see that in another video, but I wanted to capture them in the morning light. These blooms are just so sweet and pretty. And I was thinking in the soft light, they would just be really, really gorgeous. So let me show you one of the most beautiful surprises in the garden this morning. I have not planted her out yet, but you guys can see, look at that camellia. So I got this plant, I picked it up actually, I think it was on my birthday or the day after my birthday, and it has just continued to bloom. I've just got to find the right spot for it. It may stay right there. I haven't quite decided, but she is just absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited to have a camellia in my garden. They are kind of temperamental at my growing zone, zone 7B. So I'm really wanted to find a place that was a little more protected than out in the open. I'm still kind of sitting on it. If you have experience with camellias in zone 7B or 8, not 8, zone 6 or 7, let me know. I know they're not hardy in zone 6, but I know people that do grow them. So this bloom, I think I need to get a beautiful morning shot of. Another favorite plant up in my garden right now is the spirea. It's the bridal, I think they call it bridal wreath spirea. And of course, these just grow great here. They get really large. You can also take clippings from it and start a plant, which I'm thinking about doing. I would love to just have even a border of them, but isn't it just gorgeous? And right now in the morning, again, the light just shines in this area, but it's filtered with the trees, and I just love it. Look at this cluster of blooms. I've sometimes cut these for arrangements. It can be a little stinky, so I'm not sure any bride would want it in an arrangement, but gosh, the morning light on this is just so beautiful. So my green stalk container is just doing great, but I knew I needed to come in and pinch these chamomile because I didn't cut them off before, and we don't want them to go to seed. So I need to just pinch these off. And then here's some more chamomile up here. And I think for these, I'm gonna pinch them off and save these and try them. So walking through this border bed this morning, I thought I'd stop and mention this viburnum. It is a snowball variety, and it has been one of the biggest, sweetest surprises in my garden. Last year, it just did not do great, but look at these pom-poms. It has 3 blooms on each stem. I think it's a lesson in sometimes we just have to wait for things to grow and to develop, but she is absolutely beautiful. And I think due to the way she is shaped, I'm going to leave her very much in this kind of bush form. I like viburnums when you can kind of bring them up, but I don't know that that's going to work for this guy. Look at those blooms on the ground. I will come in and probably cut some of those for an arrangement. I want the plant to stay healthy. So we did have some rain. Look at all these gorgeous water drops. I will be coming back, shooting some of those for sure. So that's going to do it for this morning. I enjoyed just taking a quick walk and looking at all the beautiful, sweet little things out in the garden and doing a little photography. I don't take as much time for my photography as I used to, so I'm going to try to commit to at least once a week, just strolling the garden and thinking about it from a different perspective. So this was not a full garden tour. I just really wanted to answer some questions and just get out here and talk to you. I really appreciate all of you who've begun following my channel, and I hope that you're doing great, and that if you like my content, that you'll share it with a friend, a gardening club. I'm just excited to be able to share what I have going on in my little slice of the world. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.